So let us all welcome Madam Roxanne Pineda for the e-government and Philippine development. Take it away, Madam.
Hello po, good morning po, sir. My report is e-government and Philippine development. Next slide po. Introduction. E-government developed and the use of information and communication technology in the public sector are measured and benchmarked across the world by various assessment tools generated by universities, private organizations, and multilateral development agencies. In the Philippines, efforts to integrate e-government as a key lever in the development started 2 decades ago. Over the years, innovative e-government projects and programs were pursued to improve the delivery of public service. In the past, every transition to a new administration resulted in a change in the office designated to steer e-government implementation. It has the mandate to provide an integrated framework to optimize all government ICT resources and networks for the prioritization of e-government citizens and application. The establishment of the DICT represents a policy milestone in the evolution of e-government in the Philippines. It provides an institutional anchor for mainstreaming e-government innovations, giving the responsibility to ensure the provision of ICT infrastructures and systems as instruments of good governance and global competitiveness. Next slide po. Ayan po. Network preparedness. Network preparedness measures the level of internet use and subscription to broadband and mobile cellular services. Recent trends indicate that mobile internet use had expanded. In contrast, the volume of SMS messages had receded. The country is moving away from being the texting capital to becoming the social networking capital of the world. This signifies the migration from one form of communication medium to another. In a study of digital social media and mobile usage around the world, it was revealed that 43% of Filipinos use laptops or desktop computers to access the internet. Um, with respect to frequency of internet usage, it is estimated that 46% of Filipinos use the internet daily, while 30% use it once a week. Further, 16% use the internet once a month and 8% use it less than once a month. There are around 48 million active social media users in the country, and 41 million of these access social media through mobile devices. Next slide po. Next slide po. The next one is management optimization. Indicates the utilization of ICT for enhancing government business processes. It optimizes the effort to integrate the silo of business processes using ICT. Under the e-government master plan, the development of ICT infrastructures, application, and shared services across the public sector was conducted through 470 million pesos. Integrated Government Philippines or iGovPhil project. The goal is to interconnect government agencies and foster collaboration among them to enhance the speed, efficiency, transparency of citizen and business transactions. This ICT network will include a data center, National Records Management System, email, and VoIP collaboration system for all agencies, public key infrastructure or PKI, and electronic payment system. The short-term benefits include the centralized inventory of public records, prevention of inconsistent information of individuals, facilitations of information sharing and collaboration among government offices in the management of public service programs. The long-term benefits are the speedy delivery of public services and enhanced transparency in transactions. The evaluation plan calls for system reviews to be done by the target beneficiaries. The EGMP pursues a whole-of-government approach that is anchored on the Philippine Development Plan. The whole-of-government approach features moves to strengthen central oversight and expand horizontal collaboration to deal with issues of fragmentation. As an implementation strategy, the medium-term ICT harmonization initiative focuses on the interoperability, collaboration, and research sharing among government offices. This emphasizes the importance of setting up basic national electronic registries to assist interoperability measures or yung tinatawag na MITHI. Um, MITHI prioritize interoperability but, but does not exclude mission-critical agency-specific applications to enhance public service provision. In 2016, the public service provision, mali, mali. In 2016, the Department of Budget and Management allocate 4.33 billion to finance 145 new projects identified through the Benchimika mechanism as additional support to optimize the provision of fast and free Wi-Fi access in public places. The amount of 3.6 billion was allocated to the newly formed DICT in 2017. The agency seeks to provide 19,023 beneficiaries site with Wi-Fi connectivity during the year. Next slide po. Sa online services. Online services are provided through the integration of business processes, policies and procedures, tools, technologies, and human resources to support both assisted and unassisted service using ICT networks. One of the key online services developed in the country is e-procurement. The Philippine Government Electronic Procurement o yung tinatawag po nating PhilJEPS is an electronic bulletin board and web portal of government procurement, bid notices, and awards. It contains all procurement processes related to bidding, contract agreement, and payment for supplies and services. The system is being redesigned to achieve transparency in all stages of the process from procurement planning to project management and contract implementation. The PhilJEPS will be linked with the government integrated financial management information system to streamline budget and expenditure. The other online services that are being developed are the e-tax. E-tax is an online tax payment service that can be effective developed by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. In general, online tax services allow citizens to apply for public certificates and receive tax advice at home and via work via internet and mobile phones. At the subnational level, the e-real property tax systems automates the four key functions of local government units in real estate taxation. The next one is e-health. should promote interoperability among the different health information technology system. These include hospital system, health reporting systems, and health financial systems. The objective is to generate an integrated health information that is harmonized and beneficial to the broader public health sector. Standards are needed to build registries for diseases, terminologies, hospitals, and patients, and create system for information exchange. Online services and one-stop shops are applied in effort to ease the cost of doing business. In 2012, the Department of Interior and Local Government, or DILG, DTI, and the ICTO launched the Business Permits and Licensing Services autom- or BPLS automation projects. It sought to computerize the BPLS in all cities and municipalities. In coordination with the local government academy, LGU were trained in streamlining business registrations processes using the prescribed standards. An online service platform that is being redeveloped in Philippine Pay. This is internet-based payment facility will enable citizens and business to remit payments electronically to government agencies. It renders services through various delivery channels, which includes debit instructions, credit instructions, and mobile wallets. The online payment service will reduce the need for face-to-face transactions, thereby limiting opportunities for corruption. Next slide po. The national portal is the basic interface for stakeholders to access government information. As the official journal of Republic of the Philippines, the official gazette provides a singular platforms for publishing government documents, statements, and announcements. It functions as the national government portal, which is unified interface in the form of one-stop source for information and service delivery. The NGP is seen as a gateway that gathers all well web-based government context to maximize efficiency and deliver swift and high-quality service to citizens. The single website platform effectively lessen cost compared to maintaining multiple sites for citizens, business, or government users. This means access to reliable online public information and services. The design of NGP allows government to government, government to citizen, and government to business services to occur in one venue. It is expected that the NGP would lower budget expenditures by cutting down on the operations and maintenance costs that would have arisen if multiple websites and systems are maintained. The NGP government agencies can access the common platform where applications and databases will interoperate to enable data sharing. The NGP seeks to demonstrate a uniform government appearance while harmonizing processes and enhancing transparency. The NGP reduces the number of physical appearances required in government transactions. This makes things more comfortable for the citizen. Paper-based documents generation and processing time will likewise be lessened. Aside from simplifying transactions, the NGP also offers an access point for core government data. This brings significant government information at your doorsteps. It allows citizens to customize their web page to display the theme and information and services they want to access at any time. For the private sector, the NGP is a common source where business users can get information, online forms, applications, and other government requirements needed for their operations. The NGP hosts the Integrated Government Services Center, making it easier for business to get government assistance on regulatory concerns. Next slide po. Government CIO. The Government Chief Information Officer or CIO exercise leadership and governance capacity to supervise the implementation of ICT programs to improve public services. It aligns ICT investments so that the balance between the applied business strategy, organizational change, and government transactions reform is achieved. Implementing e-government is complex and requires not only vision and plan, but also strong leadership at the highest level. Since the goal of government is greater efficiency and transparency in the provision of public goods, institutional reforms are needed. The EGMP provides for the formation of corps of CIOs. The CIOs are assigned and deployed to national and key government units. They are tasked to advise agencies on how best to leverage ICTs to optimize the delivery of public services and achieve efficient and cost effective operations. They are responsible for developing, maintaining, and managing the agency's information system strategy plan. The CIOs will managing and supervise the implementation of ICT-based projects, systems, and processes. They will formulate and implement a process transformation and change management plan in relation to the adoption of ICT-based solutions. They are expected to manage operational risks related to ICT in coordination with the agency's management and stakeholders, and ensures that the ICT programs and operations are consistent with national policies and standards. The pool of CIOs will be provided institutional support through system group that will render technical and administrative support for e-government projects, including the National ICT Governance Service System and Infrastructures Development System or Service, System and Infrastructure Management Service, National ICT Competency Management Service, and Administrative, Financial, and Management Service. Next slide po. E-government promotion. E-government promotion is evaluated by looking at the legal parameters, enabling mechanisms, support system, and assessment programs. The previous laws that supported e-government promotional such as Electronic Commerce Act of 2000 provided legal recognition to digital signatures, documents, and data, and can be used for transaction purposes. Nevertheless, these measures are geared more towards promoting e-commerce rather than e-government. The legislation of the ICT Act of 2016 represents a big step in institutionalizing public support for e-government. Under the law, the DICT has the power to design an integrated framework to optimize all government ICT resources, and the network for identification and prioritization of e-government systems and applications as provided in the EGMP and the Philippine Development Plan. The creation of the ICT serves as strong enabling mechanism for e-government. In the past, there were issues regarding the continuity of e-government programs as the governance body for ICT matters changes with the election and the new president. The government used planning tools such as roadmaps, assessment reports, and master plan to guide the development of e-government programs. E-government promotion was also carried out through the budget support mechanisms such as e-government fund. The facility was created to finance mission critical high impact cross-agency projects. The agent The EGF was initially created under the General Appropriations Act of 2003. The fund was set up by the allocating 2% of capital outlays in maintenance and operating expenses of each government agencies for e-government projects. The government used assessment and benchmarking techniques for e-government promotion. An assessment of the positive gains from innovation can contribute to e-government promotion among local governments. The more successful of LGUs are those who are open towards engaging in initiatives that are performance-based rather than doing things simply for procedural compliance. Next slide po. E-participation. E-participation refers to ICT-enabled participation in governance processes. It focuses on the demand side of e-government in terms of how people are using digital platforms. To foster e- e-participation, digital inclusion initiatives are needed. Digital inclusion seeks to address digital divide problem, which is considered as a phenomenon where certain groups based on social, demographic, geographic factors are at a disadvantage due to lack of access or facility with ICT. There are ongoing initiatives at both the national and subnational level to strengthen the e-participation aspect of e-government in the Philippines. The e-participation through the national government portal or www.gov.ph. The program is being developed by the DICT as a commitment under the Philippine Open Government Partnership National Act Plan. The first is e-information, which equips citizen with open data and public information. The second is e-consultation, which solicits inputs from citizen on public deliberation on policy issues. The third is the e-decision making, which encourage citizens to co-design and co-produce public goods and services. The national government portal endeavors to heighten citizen participation in public policy and service provision by deploying e-participation tools. The plan is to launch www.gov.ph with at least 5 of the following priority services of the government. Number 1, basic services. The second, voting services. Third is taxation services. Fourth, education and scholarship. The fifth is civil service, job openings and trainings. Six, business registration. Seven, investing. Number eight, OFW services. Nine, housing. And the last one is citizenship and migration. Next slide po. Open government data concerns information that can be freely used, reused, and redistributed. The released data is available online to allow the public to access it without having to pay fees. The ODP task force coordinate with the different government agencies to facilitate the publication of government data sets, harmonize existing portals, formulate data disclosure policies of government, and deepen engagement with stakeholders such as academe, developers, civil society, and media and private sector. The open data portal www.data.gov.ph was launched in 2014. For the past 3 years, the government has been able to upload more 3,300 data files on public expenditures and other information from the various agency. Originally housed at the Department of Budget and Management, the Open Data Platform is now lodged at the DICT. At the sub-national level, the Full Disclosure Policy portal serves as the open data platform of the Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, to promote transparency and accountability among LGUs. The FDP requires local officials and provinces, cities, and municipalities to fully disclose the financial transactions of the LGUs to keep their constituents informed on how the LGU budget is managed and disbursed. The data must be posted in at least three conspicuous places in the FDP portal. F- LGUs may also post the information in print media in their respective website. The weakness of the transparency effort lies on the demand side. It was recommended that the government should provide a dedicated feedback channel with the open data portal for key stakeholders. The active use of open data to monitor public service is crucial in addressing the transparency deficit. It is important to put up feedbacks loops to engage citizens and other stakeholders in the co-creation and delivery of services, as well as the development of response network to maintain a lively ecosystem of open data users. There is need to encourage sustained third-party creation and submission of data visualization through building the data literacy of information designers and providing useful links to infographic application. Next slide po. Cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is assessed by looking at how the government is able to protect the security properties of the organization and user assets against relevant security risks. Addressing this risk become urgent given the dark forces in the online world. The Department of Justice recorded 614 cybercrime incidents in 2014. Hacking of government websites is common. The government must work closely with the ICT sector in building a robust and trustworthy digital environment. The newly created DICT is mandated to address cybersecurity issues. The Cybercrime Investigation and Coordination Center, which was formed through the Cybercrime Prevention Act, and the National Privacy Commission, which was created through the Data Privacy Act of 2012, Republic Act number 10172, joined the joined the DICT as attached agencies. The DICT will implement a comprehensive national cybersecurity plan and institutionalize the adoption of information security and risk management approaches. It is tasked to ensure the rights of individuals to privacy and confidentiality of personal information, guarantee the security of critical information and infrastructures, and safeguard the security of information assets of the government. Next slide po. Use of emerging ICT. The use of emerging ICT aims to improve e-government quality in the Philippines. A key innovation is cloud computing. It is a model for enabling convenient on-demand network access to a shared pool and configurable computing resources such as networks, servers, storage, applications, and services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. The initial government cloud infrastructure was set up in 2013 by ICTO, which was then under the Department of Science and Technology as part of the Integrated Government Philippines project, which aims to provide infrastructures access to government agencies. GovCloud will provide a platform that GovMail public key infrastructures, payment systems, and record management, and other hosting and communication services will be operating. Next slide po. Challenges of e-government implementation in Philippines. There are several challenges and barriers that can delay progress of e-government implementation. The variety of complexity of government initiatives implies the existence of wide range of the challenges and barriers to implementation and management. Um, Next slide po. Four categories of challenges in e-government barrier. The first one is technical barrier. Ano nga po? Technical barrier. The implementation of e-government faces some technological difficulties such as lack of shared standards and compatible infrastructures among departments and agency. Yun po yung number one is ICT infrastructures. Lack or weakness of ICT infrastructures is one of the major challenges for e-government implementation. E-networking is required to enable appropriate sharing of information and open up new channels for communication and delivery of new services. For transition to electronic government, an architecture that is a guiding set of principles, models, and standard is needed. Many developing countries suffer from the digital divide, refers to the gap in opportunity between those who have access to the internet and those who do not. Therefore, government should work closely with the private sector to establish a modern infrastructure that will provide access opportunities to disconnect groups and individuals. This lack of infrastructure is cited as one of the primary barriers to e-government implementation. The next one is privacy. Privacy is the critical issue in the implementation of e-government in both developed and developing countries. Privacy refers to the guarantee of an appropriate level of protection regarding the information attributed to an individual. Both technical and policy responses may be required when addressing the privacy issue in an e-government context. The difficulty of protecting individual privacy can be an important barrier to e-government implementation. In addition, there is a need to deal effectively with privacy issues in network in order to increase Citizen confidence. In the use of government service, citizen confidence in the privacy and careful handling of any personal information shared with government organizational is essential to e-government application. The third po is security. The security is the one of some significant challenges for implementing e-government initiatives. Many studies have found that security is one of the most important obstacles. Security means protection of all information and systems against any disclosure to unauthorized access. It refers to the protection of information system assets and the control of access to the information. It is vital component in trust relation between citizens and government. The second barriers po is organizational barriers. Next slide po. Patata po. The implementation of e-government is a pure technical issue only, but rather an organizational issue. Mm, Organizational challenges include the number one is top management support. The implementation of e-government needs the support from the leaders and top management of government for successful implementation. Top management support refers to the promise from leaders to accept, support, and adopt the e-government systems and applications. Therefore, it plays a significant role in the adoption and implementation of e-government. The next one po na organizational barriers is resistant to change to electronic waste collaboration. E-government is a new phenomenon which is the workplace means the transformation from manual methods of work to electronic ones. The new changes will create a new advanced environment completely different to what has been used for many years in government departments. However, to decrease the resistance to e-government systems, employees have to understand the importance and significance of e-government and make sure they won't endanger their jobs but through retraining and skill developments, the employees can be reassigned new roles. Moreover, it is important that e-government leaders identify the sources of resistance and create a plan for treat them. Third is collaboration. Collaboration and cooperation between all partners is critical factor in the government implementation process. In order to gain successful e-government system, and do emphasize that cooperation between public and private sectors is necessary to provide resources, plans, skills, and experiences that the government may not otherwise have. Government should encourage all sectors to participate in e-government and implementation and development. Fourth, or the last is lack of qualified personnel and training. The lack of ICT skills is a major challenge to an e-government implementation, especially in developing countries. The e-government system can be implemented successfully if qualified personnel are available to take the role of start and develop the e-government system. In general, vital to focus on training and education programs for enhancement the progress of e-government projects. However, training is a fundamental prerequisite as the rate of change increases in new technologies. The third barriers po is social barrier. Next slide po. Patapa po. Social issues are mainly concerned with the usability by a large variety of people. This implies that the interface must be usable by all kinds of people within government. Social obstacles include many factors such as digital divide, culture, education, and income. The digital divide refers to the gap in the opportunity between those who have access to the internet and those who do not. Those who do not have access to the internet will be unable to benefit from e-government systems. Thus, the digital divide is the gap between those with access to computers and the internet and those without. Therefore, not all people have the suitable access to computers and internet, whether due to a lack of income, necessary skills, or internet access. Second is culture. The main barriers to the implementation of e-government are not technical but cultural implications of new technologies. Culture was defined as a set of information assumptions, beliefs, and values that members of a society share in common. The last barrier is financial barrier. Next slide po. Moon declared that the lack of financial support is considered a significant obstacle to the implementation of e-government in many countries. It is necessary to ensure the availability of the existing and expected budgetary resources in order to achieve the goals. The most serious and significant barrier to the implementation of e-government is a lack of money. E-government implementation is expensive. Since every government budget is already overburdened with every possible expense budget makers can fit into it. The suggestion to expend the considerable sums that an excellent e-government will cost is a non-starter in budgetary terms and in budgetary politics. Um, stated Carvin stated that because of the high cost of implementation and maintenance, the computer system many countries has become in dilemma on funding e-government programs, even when a government entity has a plan for effective and accessible e-government. Peng stated that a major obstacle to e-government is lack of finance for capital investment in new technology. West noted that the ability of government offices to place services online and use technology for democratic outreach are hampered by the budget considerations. Finally, the total cost, including the high cost of systems, hardware, and maintenance, software, training, and education, are always seen as major barriers inhibiting agencies and government form using the technologies. Um, thank you po. This will end my report po.
Okay. Actually, the government agency has a lot of project, no? Specifically when it comes to e-governance. So as what our previous presenters, no, every department has their own, no, e-governance applications or a program, no. Even as what at present, no, especially the DICT, no, they have a good program, no, and actually they are the one responsible for every department in our country, no. So